Alright, so I'm making this video because I'm black. And also making this video because I care about black. I love black. And I'm proud to be black. And it's not being plastered over the news about what's going on in China and what's also going on in America. If you may notice that they are saying that African Americans are the ones who are mostly dying and mostly being affected by the COVID-19. They're saying that here in America. And what is not on the news is that African Americans, mostly black people, they're doing it to everybody in China, but what they're mostly doing to black people in China is they're kicking them out of their houses that they lived in for years and months. They're kicking out students. They're not treating them at the hospitals. They're forcing them to get tested for COVID-19. There's black people all over the streets with nowhere to go. And it's already been put out there that China was sending COVID-19 tests to the UK or Italy that are contaminated with the COVID-19 virus. They're sending this stuff and that's infected with COVID-19 to affect people. And the CDC, they know all of this. They see everything that's going on in China. They see everything that's going on here in America, and they're doing nothing about it. What's pissing me off is black people. Majority of black people are not woke. They're not freaking being in tune with what's going on around them. It's either they don't care or they're being like very, very ignorant, and they're being very, very naive and thinking that this stuff is not going on, or they're not trying to be informed on what's really going on. So I recently posted on my social media, I will not be buying anything from China. I will not be buying anything that says made in China. I will not be buying Chinese food. I will not be buying anything made from China or anywhere else. If my money every dime of my money from here on out, and it's always been like this. I've always mostly supported black-owned businesses and stuff like that. But from here on out, I'm being very, very anal on where I spend my money. If it's not black-owned, I'm not spending my money anywhere. So I'm going to have to figure out with the whole food situation. Like, I'm going to go to the grocery store, but if it's not something that was invented by black people, I'm not gonna buy it. If it's not sold by black people, I'm not gonna buy it. If it even says China on it, I'm not buying that shit. Because who this stuff has been, I've been saying this for years now. I've been saying it for years now, and I said it a couple of months ago, but people think that it's a whole like conspiracy theorist conspiracy theory. On The Simpsons, they had this episode where the Chinese people are coughing into packages and stuff like that and sending it out. And this episode was aired like years ago, like maybe 20 years ago. And I talked to my mom earlier today, and she told me that she thought that she had the coronavirus like in February. No, not in February, but in February or January. And I was like, Ma, the coronavirus wasn't even here yet. She was like, well, it's come out that the coronavirus has been here in America since December. And she said that and I remember being there with her while she was sick, and she had all the symptoms of COVID-19, all of them. And she had gotten really, really sick, and we didn't know what it was. So the Chinese people are basically trying to blame foreigners, mostly black people, for making the coronavirus re-erupt again or whatever like that. So, which I don't understand how they can do that, because they're the reason why this whole virus is a pandemic now. And I kind of find it kind of funny that they want to cry xenophobia here in the U.S. and all these fucking sheep that are black people, especially black people. I'm talking to you. All of you guys are sheep, because you are sitting here fighting for this alongside Chinese people who are experiencing xenophobia, yet in their country, they're being treated 10 times worse. You guys are being treated 10 times worse. And it's really pissing me off. It's really pissing me off how sleep black people are. It's like you've been brainwashed not to give a fuck about your people. You're being brainwashed to not even give a fuck about your people, and nobody's speaking on this. And I felt like I would not be pro-black like I always say I am, and always try to be, if I don't use my platform to talk about what's going on, because it's really pissing me off. In my last video, I stated that I went and got tested for the COVID-19, and my coworker was right beside me getting tested. And she went first. They did her first. It was very, very gentle with sticking the swab up her nose. But once he came on my side, it took them a while to even come and give me my swab. And once he got it, he jammed the fucking shit up my nose. And I'm screaming and I'm pushing him back, and he's just keep jamming the shit up my nose. And I'm screaming as he's doing that. And then finally he lets it go. And I'm like, because after that, you're supposed to drive away. After that, it took me 30 minutes to calm down. I couldn't stop crying. The pain was excruciating. I felt like he was trying to stab me in my head. And so I'm trying now to find the information to go and complain, because I felt like that was very, very brutal compared to how she was treated and compared to how I was treated, because it literally took me 30 minutes to calm down, because I had a 30-minute panic attack. And there was a black couple in front of us in the car who were also getting tested, who received it the same way that I did. But when he got to her on this side, he was very, very gentle. And so, like, it's not only going on in China, it's going on here in the US too. I just feel like something has to happen. There's nobody talking about it. The CDC, the government, they don't give a fuck. They're sitting here watching this happen, which they have for years. Don't nobody give a fuck about black people. Nobody. But black people need to learn how to give a fuck about themselves, or this is going to continue on happening, because nobody's saying anything. Nobody's trying to fight. Nobody's trying to say, no, I'm not going to accept this, because I feel like you're all brainwashed. Black people are so fucking brainwashed that they will sit there and take anything. And I am for black people. I'm not saying I'm not for any other people. I love everybody, but at the same time, when I see my people being treated like this, I have to say something. I'm sorry. If you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for nothing. So I don't care who sees this and don't like it. It's how I feel. I'm not buying anything that's non-black if I can help it. And that's just how I feel. And I don't give a fuck who don't like it.